Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer League race. We're in week 2, and we're coming in a little bit hot here with the Immortals versus NewSwagaJacksonl here in a faux AD keys. Just bear with us. Looks like Wallkicks found a great Moon Pearl there. I am Lumaga, one of your commentators, and I'm joined by Drosy tonight. Drosy, how are you?
I'm good. Just trying to catch up on this as Wallkicks, picked up the Ice Palace Big Key as well out of Link's house. But yeah, should be a great race here. Fun fact: this is actually James FNX's first ever ALTTPR League race.
Someone who's been around in the community as long as he has, I'm kind of surprised, but I'm sure he's excited to have his first race.
Yeah, I was surprised too, but I looked it up, and yeah, he hasn't been in the league in any previous season. The Immortals have gone through a few different incarnations, and he's now part of this season's incarnation of the team.
New incarnations on that side, on NewSwagaJacksonl, right? They used to be old SwagaJacksonl, so they've got a new iteration of their own team as well.
Right. Wallkicks is, in fact, the new member of the team, replacing Kern, who's semi-retired. James FNX is replacing Julo Ninja on the Immortals this season, Julo having gone off to make a new team called Mogliacci, which is also in this division.
I was going to say, actually, I believe they've won their first two games. NewSwagaJacksonl actually split week 1 with Shack Tool's Digging Game, and Immortals dropped both week 1 games to Swirly Coin Brewing. But if I'm them, I'm not panicking just yet. It's just week 2.
So we're finding a lot of stuff here. We've already seen the Cane of Samaria and Blind's Hut. There was a Turtle Rock Small and a book in the Kakariko Well. Wallkicks gets a shovel in Chicken Hut. Coming in fast and furious, I'd say.
Definitely, and especially in an AD keys seed, you kind of expect a few more things to happen, either keys, big keys, or items, since those are not in their native dungeon anymore. You're going to find a few more things out in the overworld. Let's talk about this faux real quick, right? This is faux AD keys.
Yeah.
You want to give it a shot?
Well, since Chap's already executed the command for it, basically, castle tower keys are really annoying to find, especially when you're one short and the only thing it locks is Lumberjack. So it's basically an extra ice rod, only worse. So we decided not to have that problem by ensuring that they're both vanilla.
Yeah, so it takes the pressure, takes the hunt out of that those last 2 keys. Still got to find all the other keys, Ganon's Tower Big Key and the dreaded Swamp Palace Small Key, but can't make everything too easy.
Fun fact from the annals of League admins, what we really wanted to do was make almost all dungeons where AGA 1 simply wasn't required, but everything else was. But apparently that wasn't particularly easy to implement, whereas this was easier to implement, so it's what we went with.
All right. James may not have had enough bombs when he came in through the first time. He's got to go back to the well. But yeah, I didn't think there was anything Wallkicks had found. Just a heart.
And let's talk about Wallkicks for a minute. This guy is currently playing in both the finals of the Cross Keys tournament and the finals of the Ladder Retrance tournament.
All right, so he's got quite a busy schedule these days, and used to different key modes, especially with key sanity, like you're talking about, with cross keys, you're talking about. So this is a little bit of a break. You just get the keys mixed up. You don't have the entrances mixed up.
Yeah, he has to readjust to vanilla entrances here. Yeah, so James is farming money for Bottle Bender, I guess?
Yeah, I don't remember seeing it on Wall Kick's side. So we may be getting that check right now. Still no really good weapons. We did see Wall Kicks have to use bomb strats in Mini Moldorm. Do have the Cane of Samaria, and now the Cane of Berna off that vendor. But not enough magic to really make use of either one of them right now.
But we did, in terms of items we'll need later, we did find the Swamp Small, and that's kind of a big deal in any sort of key sanity mode, because that locks the entire dungeon. Of course, we still need Mirror and Flippers to do anything in there.
And then Hammer if you want to get further than 2 chests. So it's quite a few items in order to get anywhere meaningful in Swamp Palace.
On the flip side, it's one of the dungeons where the big key doesn't do anything for you except lock the big chest. James wants to check that shovel. Have we seen that on Wall Kick's side?
I don't believe we did. Not just yet. He did find it first, and he found it in CAC, so it would have been a great time to go route it in, but just a map. And if you're doing all dungeons, you don't really need to know which are crystals and pendants anyway.
Oh, and James had never started from Link's house and opened that chest yet, so there's his ice big key.
Nice bottle. Opening up Sick Kid, although we've already cleared Kakariko. We'll be there a few times anyway.
Probably gonna wait for like the flute or something like that to be a reason to go back, or Dark World Access plus Mirror and you're at it with Village of Outcasts.
All right, a little bit of a high five from these two runners as they both want to go to Hyrule Castle. Not a bad move, right? I mean, they don't have a whole lot open to them. They do have Saha, Eastern, and Escape. Although they don't have a Hyrule Castle small key, so, you know, they're really limited to only one half of this dungeon so far.
Well, and logically, they're limited to this first chest because the game always assumes you use keys in the dumbest way possible. Oh, but that first chest has the fire rod. So the game assumes you take that small key from the guard and go into the sewers and blow it there. So these two chests are out of logic until you find that sewers key.
I mean, Fire Rod's a great item and a great weapon, but man, we don't have a lot of magic. Wall Kicks is going to have to manage this a little bit or switch to bombs for the last 2 guards.
Well, I mean, this is like back in the main tournament where everyone had to get really used to standard openings. James played in the Challenge Cup, so that was regular standard as opposed to Wall Kicks, who was in the main tournament, which was hard standard. But either way, they're both very used to going to Escape with all manner of weapons.
So I know Wall Kicks did Mini Moldorm, but he didn't do Dam. And James just found the glove in Sunken Treasure.
Well, that opens up the back of Escape.
And I guess we also have full desert access with Wall Kick's Fire Rod and the glove from James. No. This is keys. we need a big key. All right, not done with Hyrule Castle yet, right? There still is the Dark Cross, which is now in logic with the Fire Rod, but no magic, so we're doing it dark anyway.
But at least we know whatever we find here in the dark is in logic. And at Wallkick's level of play, I'm sure he can just figure out his way through here. He does have the green goo out in case he needs it. There we go.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is, take a death and then say, I should have used the potion and given myself a chance. And small key to Turtle Rock. We'll need that for later. The mini Moldorm up there is, quite agile at, this walking along the edge here, dodging all of those Samaria blocks.
Okay, so now Wallkicks will be finding that glove. So what do we have left at this point in logic? We have the back of Escape, Saha's Closet, and the front of Eastern.
That's correct. I think we've seen just about everything else. No, we haven't seen the front of Desert.
Oh, right, book. That gives us exactly one check.
But it could be the most important check.
We could steal the small key from the back of Desert and do 2 more checks in the front. I wonder if either of our runners will scum that small key.
Well, Wallkicks is headed over there anyway. Likely to do Agina first, but would be interesting to see what is in those 1 or 3 checks in the front of Desert.
Oh, and Desert Ledge, too.
Indeed, we didn't see that.
Looks like James is going to give us our first look at Saha's Closet. Wonder if he'll go into Eastern after that. We do just need either a hammer or the second glove for Dark World, though.
So at least we know Thieves Town is a green pendant, a la Sahasrahla. Neither runner has done a map check, which I get, right? It's all dungeons, but you still would like to know what your 5-6 might be, what your pendants might be.
Well, I don't know how many maps they've collected yet.
True. I know there's at least one.
Yeah, I think they got the map to ice, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you said it. You said that was one important chest.
So there's your Dark World access, like you were talking about, and one other item we can scout out that is dead. So a whole new world opening up. Starting in Sank, this has got to be maybe back of Escape first, and then head to the Dark World.
Yeah, and if we're going to use CAC Portal, maybe check Sick Kid on the way. So 2 Turtle Rock Smalls, the Turtle Rock Big, the Cane of Samaria, the Fire Rod. We're rapidly getting the items we need for TR.
There's another small to boot. Yeah, very early Turtle Rock items, which, I mean, I can't tell at this point if it means anything or not. There's just too much, open, and too much we need in order to really make sense of it. But indeed, here comes the Dark World. No sword, so you could scout the front of Skull Woods. But even with a fire rod, getting to the back, you'll be stopped without a sword.
So Wall Kicks did not do Bottle Vendor or Sick Kid before going into the Dark World, even though he doesn't have a mirror. What do you make of that?
Probably what I said earlier is that you'll be in Kakariko enough times where, you can maybe put it off. Bottle Vendor is right there. Sick Kid, I get, is a little bit, some more south, so it's a one-off check, only, locked by a bottle, which was early, though, so you may want to prioritize it. I don't know. I can't tell what Wall Kicks was planning here.
Other than whatever he plans usually works. Oh! Well!
Yeah.
That flute is decidedly out of logic.
Yeah, no lamp. No way to get there logically, but we'll take it. And that actually opens up, well, not a whole lot. It does open up, with those Titan's Mitts, it would open up Mire Shed, and it would also open up a little bit of Death Mountain without logic, though.
And Wall Kicks finds a bow in the Thieves' Town Big Key chest. So now we have a bit better of a weapon. Still would be nice to get a sword or a hammer.
So James doesn't yet have Dark World access. Well, there's the hammer you were just mentioning.
Well, that also opens up the Dark World. This is all dungeons. We will need to beat Aga at some point, but now we can just put him off until the very end.
Yeah, last thing you would want to see is maybe the, hammer is locked by Aga himself. More key items with the flippers. The game is just throwing itself at you.
Yeah, and unfortunately, James... Oh, right, of course James doesn't have the mitts. He has to go into desert first to get them.
Right, but he'll get the mitts, and he'll be right back out here to check out what's in Mire Shed.
I would expect so. Wall Kick's gonna do the dig game here. A lot of digs.
It's pretty close to the top of the count.
Yeah, that was about 24, I think, and the max is 30.
Now, he did take the south route, checking out the dig game first.
James, you don't have the big key.
He doesn't, no.
Oh, no, it's marked on his tracker.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Whoa. He must have found it in Eastern, and that's the lamp, which now puts the flute in logic.
So if that's the case, then it's Eastern to desert to Eastern is the logical path.
Or chat's saying it was Saha's closet, not in Eastern proper.
Well, you're going that way anyway. So no Mire Shed check, but onto the Dark World. And, doing the good old Smith, giving him a tour of the Dark World before you save and quit back.
Yeah, James doesn't have a good weapon for doing landmos, though, whereas if Wall Kicks were there, he probably would have gone back and, cleared out landmos, because why not?
Yeah, between the fire rod and the bow and, to a lesser extent, the bomb or the hammer, you could take him out. 4 out of 5. 5 out of 5 treasures were not all that great.
When was the last time Hype Cave was great? James remembering that there is that full magic refill sitting there. Always a nice thing to be aware of if you're going through Skull Woods.
So here's what I like with wall kicks. You don't have the mirror, but you got the smith in tow. You might as well take him as far as he can go in the dark world. As far as you can go in the dark world. Check out the pyramid. I would expect catfish right after this. And then, back to turning the smith.
Too bad we don't have more pod keys because we have the bow and the hammer.
Well, there's a small key.
Could it
Maybe
be?
it's the pod. No.
Oh, not a small key you really want to see.
Yeah, because that opens the basement, and you've got between the two runners both sources of fire. So, who knows? Maybe something could have been stashed away down in the basement.
Hey, there's ether in Skull Woods. And a red meringue.
Here's a thought. Imagine if Misery Mire is locked by ether. But we don't have the hook shot of the boots, but, we'll get them.
Hey, there's our final Turtle Rock Small. Each runner, neither runner has gotten all of them, but we've seen all four. And Wall Kicks has the Turtle Rock Big, too. Now, we would need either the hammer or the mirror. Sorry, not the hammer. The hook shot or the mirror to get over to East Death Mountain. But assuming we had that, all of Turtle Rock except Trinax would be in logic if Ether opens it.
Right. Yeah, we got to wait and see what the medallion is, but you got a point. And we've had enough, access or items to get into it and deep into it so far. So you may want to think about that. I don't think we saw anything useful on Bumper Ledge. I know James went over there, but I may have seen 1 pixel of whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't think it was useful. So we still haven't seen any swords yet.
I was hoping for the swordsmiths to give us an answer, but just bombs today.
You never know what'll come out of that baguette they're hammering away at.
So here's that sick kid check, but I think we already saw it on James's end.
Yeah, piece of heart.
Yeah.
So maybe Wall Kicks goes and grabs the Cane of Burna now.
Yeah, plenty of money to do that. Really, we've got what? We can scout out the first chest of pod, and we can do more than that. We've got a bow, so we could do the bow lock side of pod. You could do the first 2 checks up in Light Death Mountain.
Wall Kick's going to the magic shop?
He did use the green potion, so getting a refill of something.
I wonder where he's planning on going that he needs a potion at this point with blue mail and 10 hearts. James gets his flippers.
He's going to ice, isn't he? He's going to ice.
I didn't even think about that as a possibility, but that is in logic.
It's
Sort
fully
of.
clearable. I mean, it may not be fully in logic. We don't have the big key. We don't have any small keys, but it's fully clearable.
We do have the big key, but we don't have any small keys.
Okay, you're right.
So nothing behind the locked door is in logic, but we're just gonna icebreaker anyway. So doors, who needs doors?
Yeah, where we're going, we don't need doors. But we do need some money, James. Farming the arrow game. This is nice. A 27-minute Ice Palace play. It's exciting.
As we know, if James had just done dig game, he'd be fine because it's a lot of digs and wall kicks was digging up big 20s left and right. So now James is going to do the dig game and probably feel a little bit silly.
He's still going to need some more money for Zora, right, if he wants to check that later. Wall Kicks had spent enough money where he doesn't have Zora cash.
So nothing doing in our first Ice Palace check.
All right, our first pod key.
Second. There was one in Village of Outcasts.
Yes.
But other than that, nothing in ice so far, and we've checked half the chests. Well, we're back to Zora money. And Wall Kick's remembering he doesn't have the hook shot, so he'll actually have to get to the big chest the way the game intended. Oh, Quake.
All right, so we found 2 medallions. You know, as soon as we can, we got to check that Mire shed and see what we need to get in there.
Yeah. Well, Wall Kicks is going to have to go to Saha's Closet in Eastern at some point. Though.
What a find in iced tea.
So now we can get to Turtle Rock. And as we said before, we have access to 2 medallions, though each runner only has 1. Again, unbeknownst to each runner individually, there's a pretty good chance Turtle Rock is fully in logic, except for Trinex itself.
Yeah, and with a total of 12 chests in a keys mode, that's a pretty dense dungeon to go into. And, you know, you're expecting to find something in there. Chat pointing out we do need a sword to activate The medallion spots, though.
Right, I suppose we have to actually be able to use the medallion. Something you don't usually think about half an hour in.
No, you either had found a sword or you don't have access to those dungeons in the first place. All right, and there's that blue potion coming in handy for wall kicks as he takes on our first boss.
Right, there's a nice glitch where you can use sword beams to basically double the fire rod power to melt the shell of Cold Stare, and Wallkick's dropped in with full health. He just didn't have a sword to use sword beams from.
Well, very nice fight. Gets our first crystal, and we found a mirror out of that dungeon as well. So, quite a play to Ice Palace.
Yeah, and just to note, the mirror was an iced tea room. Iced tea room is accessible without opening any locked doors or needing to hookshot any gaps. So that mirror is in logic.
And with the Zora money, we also found in the Freezor room. We're heading up into the waterfall and to Zora proper.
Ooh, a cape. But bumper ledge is worthless, but since we now have mountain access, the Cane of Burn already put Spike Cave in logic, so the cape does nothing for us. But Lumaga, we're gonna see that check you've been wanting to see for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, finally, Mire Shed. We had the flute and the mitts really early. Now we get to see the medallion today is Quake. So Wallkicks did find that. He found that in Ice Palace, didn't he?
Yep.
Okay.
This has been a pretty healthy seed so far. And we did see a small key on Zora Ledge, so Wallkicks will be going to pick it up.
Imagine if that's the Swamp Palace small. I mean, Swamp is, the front of Swamp is fully in logic.
No, we got the Swamp small early.
I thought we got the big. Oh, we do have the small.
That's our third pod key, though.
So pod is looking good. Swamp might be looking okay.
Yeah, Swamp, we don't have the hookshot, so we can only do the front half, and you always hate to have to do that, but if the hookshot is vanilla or French vanilla, you may have no choice.
Now we finally do see the Death Mountain play. Unfortunately, James does not have, a hookshot to go across or a mirror to get up and around. So this is going to be a real short play to these two items.
And even Wallkicks can't do Hera because he has no big key to go upstairs the intended way, and he has no hookshot to Hera pot.
Well, James is still able to do Spike. He's got the Cane of Berna, he's got the hammer.
Yeah, always an interesting one to check out.
And not so worth today. Wallkicks might actually save this since there's plenty more to explore on the top. No, he's going right for it.
That's a surprise. Maybe he's planning to do Hera Basement so he knows he'll get the magic refill in there?
Could be.
Because even if we can't go upstairs in Hera, we can do the basement.
So if I'm counting correctly, I think there's 13 checks that Wall Kicks is headed towards between Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave, and Super Bunny and Hera. If there's a sword, I mean, I fully expect a Turtle Rock play. We've got plenty for it. And I'd be surprised if we don't find a sword in those 13 checks.
We can also check Ether Tablet, which I think we're going to do, though without a sword we can't pull it. I don't think we're coming back for that.
Nah.
And James finally gets his fire rod.
All right, no bit key and no hook shot to do a Hera pot here. So we got the lobby, just bombs, and I guess upcoming is going to be basement. We'll see where we go from there. I do want to take, a moment while we have a quick coffee break here on Wall Kick's end, and we've seen Hera basement already, or Castle basement already. I want to shout out our tracker Arturil, who's been, doing a great job of keeping this Key Sanity all dungeons seed on track for us. I've not done a great job of mentally keeping track of what we found, but Arturil sure has. So thank you very much.
Also, shout out the runners to follow them. Wall Kicks, as we know, is a really top player, and James is also a good player who's been around for a long time, and give him support as he goes through his first league season. And Hera Basement was not the answer.
James might be following the plan to Ice Palace. Maybe Hobo first, but ultimately ending up in Ice Palace.
If so, that's a good thing since he'll get that mirror.
Ether, which James has and Wall Kicks doesn't. Believe that was in Eastern Palace.
No, it was in Skull Woods.
Skull Woods, okay. That's right. Wall Kicks went straight into Village, did not do Skull Woods, whereas James went to Skull and then Bumper Ledge.
Yeah, Wall Kicks is probably waiting for a sword to go into Skull Woods so he can just do the whole thing, because currently he can do everything but Moth.
And coming into Paradox from the back door. Okay.
Yeah, not something you see very often.
A lot of times when you want to knock out all of these checks at once, you mirror at the bottom of the mountain and then kind of do Paradox first and then up to Super Bunny. But hey, as long as you check them.
Well, he'll be checking things faster, and that also opens up the first chest in Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, able to bonk across the gap for that one chest. Well-placed boots, if that's anything.
Still want a sword if you're going to go charging around. There's something just inherently funny about seeing Phoenix Wright flailing with a mallet at mini Moldorms.
Yeah, shout out to our sprite dev community who puts out some very excellent sprites for the runners to use. All right, one check here.
Can't really bonk once you lift up that pot.
Yeah, I gotta go back for that. That's okay. Yeah, a dash turn is the appropriate move, but could pick up the heart anyway.
Ooh, Mire big, and the boots let us into Mire. We know Mire is Quake.
But we need a sword still, so Spiral Cave is the last one we have up here.
Right,
we can check.
right.
I'm still holding out for that sword.
This is ridiculous.
I did say I'd be surprised if one of these 13 checks was not a sword. This is, I think, the last one up here.
Well, Wallkicks also has the mirror, so we have Checkerboard Cave too, which we haven't seen.
We have Checkerboard. We've got the front half of Swamp Palace, and we've got now 3 pod keys. So we have a lot of pod open.
Of course, Wallkick still needs his flute out of Eastern.
Yes, he has not been there yet, but James picked that up pretty early.
Thieves Big. We could do Thieves Town as long as we orphan the big chest.
Yeah. You got to ask yourself if you're feeling lucky on that one, though.
Yeah, it's always a risk. So where's Wallkicks off to now? I think we might see some mirror checks here. I guess he is going into...
Yeah, he's going to do Skull at this point. He'll pick up his Ether Medallion. I doubt he's going to take that immediately to... Oh, he doesn't have a sword. But I would doubt he would take that immediately to Turtle Rock if he did have a sword anyway. Yeah, he could do this and then Graveyard Ledge. He's not done the North Dark World. Now, James has a bottle. I think we picked up the first bottle with green goo in it. Did he... He hasn't gone to the potion shop to change it out for anything, has he?
No, I think he still has that green goo.
Okay. So... Well, he's gonna go all the way to Cold Stare, I'm sure, so, you know, he's got to just be mindful of some health.
Yeah, you really don't want to have to double dip ice. And I'm sure he's happy to see that mirror.
That is the last. Oh no, we've already seen that. You already mentioned we had 4 Turtle Rock keys.
Yeah, so each runner now has 3.
Now, while Kix has the cape, we'll see if this actually was anything or nothing. Oh, it is a small key. Okay, so with the cape, we'll be able to see if this is meaningful. Meaningful, but not immediately useful. James out of magic. We did see chat say that he had bought a blue potion, but being on full magic and just having 1 puff left, I'm sure he's not using it. Takes down Colster with the hammer. Gets his first crystal.
Another small key.
So there's 4. There are 6 in total, and I think with 4 plus a hammer yump, you're pretty good on pod keys. However, no big key for pod, so putting it off for now. All right, it's taken that Thieves Town big that he was able to get and go to the back. We did say he doesn't have a small key, so possibly orphaning that 1 chest.
Probably orphaning that 1 chest.
Yeah, it is likely he will orphan the chest.
And it also means that the attic chest and blind are out of logic because the game thinks you could potentially use this small key that Wallkick is picking up here, and rather than opening that door that he just opened, you could take it all the way to the basement and open the room with the big chest.
Yep. Hence why there's a chance that the small key can lock itself in a non-keys mode, or in a keys mode rather, and why blind can never have a key. It's going to either be in the front, or it's going to lock itself. I guess it actually could be in the basement as well. You could find it there.
Yeah, the small key can be in blind cell. It's interesting how some dungeons just have a ton of locked doors and others have very few. Oh, nice.
Okay, so there's the sword we've been waiting for, I don't know, 51 minutes.
So, Mire's full clearable, though the fire-locked side isn't in logic.
Turtle Rock, aside from Trinex, is accessible. We've talked about Swamp. I mean, with that sword and a book, you could check out the Bombos tablet.
Broken pencils are pointless.
Womp womp. All right, doing the dance very flawlessly. And there's the Bombos tablet, or medallions. We've got all three. No real use for the Bombos tablet.
That is also our green pendant, so if Wallkicks ever goes to the Eastern Palace area, which he's going to have to do at some point because this is all dungeons, he can turn that in.
Yeah, he has neglected that part. Has a slight incentive to go there now with the green pendant. He's going to have to get his flute out of Eastern.
And one nice thing about that sword is we can now do item dashes, which just made hammer pegs a whole lot faster.
Still, pretty useless item, but faster.
But now we'll take the purple chest, we'll do Cave 45, we'll check Bombos. As James gets his boots.
Yeah, at least item-wise, we're looking for hookshot. We know where the flute is, and we need ice rod. But boy, do we need some keys. We need a lot of big keys here.
Well, we need Pod and GT and Eastern. And officially we need the Hera big key as well, but if we find the hookshot, we can get around that.
All right, while you're in the area, Wallkicks, you going to check Bombos? You are. Okay.
Nothing on the tablets today. Where was our Mire big that James doesn't have it?
Hookshot Cave, says our tracker. That was the first chest.
Oh, and he didn't think after getting the boots to bonk over to that one chest. That could be something. Wallkex is finally heading to the Pod Eastern area. I have to imagine if he's willing to go into Pod without the big key, he's willing to go into Eastern without the big key. And so he'll be getting that flute. Well, 14 chests in Pod, and we can get to 12 of them. Though, with only 4 keys, Harmless Hellway and Vanilla Big Key chest are not in Logic. I guess Dark Maze isn't in Logic either.
No, it's not, because as we mentioned, you're going to have to go through quite a few locked doors. Pod has a lot of them. Small key to Mire, okay. But okay, we are going to use one in the middle. I half expected wall kicks to take the Bullock side and save a key.
The thing about pod is it often contains a pod small.
Yeah, it's funny like that.
That was our first Skull Wood small. Logically, Mothula requires 3 smalls. I just realized Wallkicks didn't do the back of Skull Woods after getting his sword. He just immediately left. Well, not immediately, but he headed south from the village.
Yeah, no, I know Fighter Sword Moth is not great, but I mean, these are 2 very accomplished runners, so and they have blue mail and they have what, 11 hearts. So
Hammer. There's our Desert Small.
Okay, we need that.
So Wallkicks has a Desert Small and a Desert Large. If he goes into Eastern, he'll get the flute. We could see like a full Mire Desert clear from him.
Yeah, this is really turning out well for him. Just holding off on the Eastern play until he can do Pod Eastern. Although he doesn't have either big key, but like you mentioned, just picking up some items along the way.
Okay, these 2 items in Rupee Basement are the last in-logic items in Pod. Oh! Well, that sure paid off.
So how quickly are we getting up to Turtle Rock now that it is full clearable?
I mean, I would think he would still go to Eastern first, and then having gotten the flute, he'd do Mire and Desert.
All right, here's that Hammer Yump, saving a key to get into the Dark Maze. Just needs that one last key to get into Helmasaur as soon as they find the big key.
Oh, second Skullwood's key. So logically, Skullwood finishing Moth is locked behind all 6 pod smalls.
Not taking a dip into Eastern.
Oh, that could hurt.
Yeah, abandoning the flute that we know is in the big key chest of Eastern Palace.
I mean, I know some people who just won't do Eastern unless they can beat Eastern. As James gets his first sword.
Well,
So
here's the Turtle Rock play.
Yeah, I was totally wrong about what Wallkicks would do. I figured he was doing Pod without the big key. Why not do Eastern without the big key? Then you get the flute, then you do Desert and Mire. But he's just feeling the Ice Rod today.
Yeah, I mean, we have the benefit of omniscience here with, the knowledge of where that flute is, and Wallkicks does not. So can't really say it's wrong for him to do this.
Nice Burner strats on blind from James. When in doubt, use Burner, right?
Yeah, make it easy. Two questions here in chat. Where's the TR small? He's missing an EP. Between the two runners, we have found all four TR keys.
I honestly don't remember which runner is missing a small key from where.
Yeah, we just know that we found them. That's right. There was one in Dark Cross, which James did not pick up. Don't know where the fourth one for wall kicks is. And wall kicks remembering to do the the strategy for this room, not having a hook shot, not doing the quick light and hook to a torch. Has burned so many runners, and they have to kind of double back on that that path.
Oh, so James isn't going to check Bombos. Interesting. I mean, we know it won't hurt him, but it's interesting that he wouldn't at least want to check it. Looks like he's also going for maybe checkerboard or Intermire without the big key or finishing off desert.
All unexplored territory. So I'm interested to see what he finds in any of those checks.
Oh, there's one of our ice smalls. Not that we found anything locked behind the small keys in ice, but that does put Cold Stare in logic with the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, so James doesn't have that desert small, which wall kicks does. So just taking this all the way to the back and getting rid of Landmo. So we do get the Mimic Cave check. We didn't get the big key chest, the lava chest check in Turtle Rock, since we don't have all four keys there.
And that's going to be annoying to come back to if it has something.
Good fight by James, picking up the crystal off of Landmolus. Now with 3 dungeons completed.
Oh, there's the hook shot finally.
All right, so this is worth the trip.
Could be a while before Wall Kicks goes to Eastern, though. He can full clear Swamp now.
Yeah, and he's put it off this far. I don't know, Matt. I don't believe he would go there without, maybe finding the big key if possible, because he's got too much to clear.
Well, we'll see what James can turn up in Mire. He won't be able to check the big chest or kill Vidi. But that does give him 6 checks. Oh. Well, we can finish pod now.
Yeah, if you're looking for something, be sure to check Laser Bridge. Because there's that big key for Palace of Darkness. So you'd have to go... I mean, we found the ice rod here from Palace of Darkness. So, I mean, you're either going pod, TR, pod, or what? TR, full clear pod, back to TR. And neither of which is very desirable.
And with the fighter sword, of course, we're going to see a menu boss fight here. Nothing in Mire so far.
He got a really good position for that ice head to get knocked back into the wall and still be able to just wail on that ice head.
Hey, there's our third Skull Woods key, though from James' perspective, it's the first. So that hook shot's big, but that's also the only thing we got out of Turtle Rock. I mean, plus a crystal.
Yeah, but the hook shot is very big. And this spike chest is, I think, the last thing we have for Misery Mire.
Did you check the bridge chest? Oh, that's a nice prize out of Mire, though.
Bridge chest, yes, we do have that one left, because we went left first. We didn't go back first. Yeah, Master Sword. So that's awesome.
We're kind of gonna need that. Mushroom.
Mushroom and Samaria, we could try out fake powder first if we're getting desperate. We're not desperate yet. We've got a couple of dungeons to complete from Wall Kick's end. But if you're thinking something might be behind powder, you got to do that before you turn in that mushroom. Man, kind of a bummer on Wall Kick's end because he's got everything he needs to go all the way back to Vitreous. Got the big key, got boots, and his medallion, but no flute. Can't even get over there.
And meanwhile, James doesn't have that big key to Mire because he didn't think to make that one little incursion into Hookshot Cave after getting the boots.
Yeah, the end game here is going to turn out to be really interesting. Who gets their last items quicker than the other? Because they're just so far out of the way at this point. Until we find an Eastern Big Key, which would help Wall Kicks. But James is going to have to find a reason to go back up to Dark Death Mountain.
Now, with that fifth pod key that Wallkicks just found, we can clear the rest of pod as long as we hammer jump to the big chest.
You know what? This is probably why Wallkicks didn't go to Eastern. He didn't have the lamp yet. Wasn't going to chance the dark room.
I mean, Pod Dark Maze is the easy dark room, right?
Sure. All right, Master Sword Lanmo. Nicer fight than Fighter Sword Lanmolas. Or I'm sorry, Mothula. Mothula.
You were just combining the fact that Wall Kicks is about to hit Lanmo with James being on a boss, so...
Sure, too much information here, but that was a really quick Mothula fight from James. Very nice.
And that's his 4th dungeon down. Wall Kicks is about to get his 4th dungeon down. Hey, we're getting a ped check. The bug net.
That wonderful ped bug net.
So from Gamachu's perspective, this is a ped seed, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, where would you be without a bug net? All right, so James heading into that, heading into Pod. He's got the green pendant here for Sahasrahla, which I believe was just a quarter heart. And then we finally have the swamp play for Wall Kicks. You know, this could work out okay for James. He's going to find his ice rod here in the dark basement of Palace of Darkness. That could send him up to Turtle Rock pretty easily, and you know that's going to get him his Mire Big, which is in Hookshot Cave. Like I said, he just needs an excuse to go up there. And speaking of excuses, we've got Wall Kicks, who finally found that Eastern Palace Big Key in the first chest of Swamp Palace, which has been available for a while, so...
Maybe that'll finally take him to Eastern?
If that doesn't, I don't know what's gonna.
So, let's see. Wall Kicks did finish off Desert. He can certainly finish off Eastern Pod. He can Harrow Pot with the hook shot. Once he gets that flute, he'll be GT Big Key from Go Mode. All of a sudden, we're getting close. Like, the Eastern Big Key, he's got to go back and do Eastern and finish off Pod after this, and then he'll get the flute, and yeah, where the heck do you think that GT Big Key is? GT?
It very well could be. We've seen most of everything else. We haven't seen the upper part of Hera, right? And we haven't seen, of course, Halmasaur and Armos. I guess to that point, we haven't seen Vitreous either, or a couple of big chests along the way. I mean, Ganon Scour Big Key, there's a lot of places it could still be.
So James will be getting his ice rod shortly. That could take him to Turtle Rock, of course. Lumaga, you know what would be the absolute worst place to have the GT Big Key, right?
Indulge me. Where?
Lava Chest.
Which wall kicks skipped while he was in Turtle Rock. Yes, that would be
And
an
James
awful
is
place.
most likely going to skip it too because he somehow missed the fourth Turtle Rock Small and Dark Cross.
Oh boy, imagine the drama if we are
Yeah.
ending up in that spot.
3 hour seed, anyone?
You know, despite all that, at least we don't have to search for castle tower keys. Swamp has our third sword, so that's going to be a tempered for James. Of course, he needs the hook. No, he doesn't need the hook shot for that, but he's less likely to do it without a hook shot in his bag.
But the ice rod may push him to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, with Turtle Rock clearable from his perspective, he's not likely to head to Swamp and chance something being there. This... I think this is Dark Cross. This would be the fourth Turtle Rock key. Yeah, he's headed back there. So he'll get his fourth key and less likely to skip that big key chest.
This could get spicy.
All right, Wall Kick's pulling off double puffs off of Argus. This is a really good strat for a Master Sword boss fight.
Of course, what'll actually be the case will be that Lava Chest is something like the sixth pod small. And then no one cares. But yeah, James is definitely behind at this point. Wallkicks has routed a bit better. So I would say GT Big and Lava Chest is a huge out for him. Oh, there's our sixth pod small, so I guess it's not in Lava Chest.
Well, that just increases the chances that it's Ganon's Tower Big Key. Or something like the Fire Shield or something like that.
Julo Ninja sitting in chat laughing at his former team.
So we've got both red crystals, desert and swamp. So that big bomb is open for wall kicks. It's another place we hadn't considered.
Oh yeah. From here, he's got to go back to pot. And he said, sorry, I'm just frustrated that Wallkicks isn't in possession of the flute.
No, it's the play he needs to make in order to, start to close this out. I mean, you're frustrated by it. Imagine how he's going to feel once he finds the flute. Well, free bottle refill.
With bees.
Enjoy your bee. The castle tower play right now. Okay.
I guess he figures he's in the neighborhood? I don't know. This is a bit surprising.
Yeah, so of course in faux 80 keys, these two chests are not going to be shuffled. These are both going to be Castle Tower keys. And, you know, typically you'll save this dungeon for the end because it's not locking anything. But, well, he's in the neighborhood. He could do it.
And James heading on back and downstairs in Turtle Rock as we wait with bated breath to see what's in Lava Chest.
I mean, we're hyping it up. It's just as likely to not be anything, but good God, if it's that Ganon's Tower key.
The other thing is, once he gets the hook shot, he will hopefully do Hookshot Cave before he quits the mountain, and that will let him finish Mire.
Right, and he just needs to go back to Victorious because he's already scouted the rest of it. All right, this is the chest that Wallkick skipped as he was in Turtle Rock. James has enough keys to get it. Let's see what this lava chest is.
Well, huh. I mean, half magic is nice to have. Wallkicks is never getting it.
I think we had the same reaction. Like, no, it's not the big key, but it's cool. Thanks for the half magic.
Statistically speaking, at this point, the GT Big is most likely to be French Vanilla.
Yeah, we've kind of run out of non-Ganon's Tower checks.
We haven't been upstairs in Harrow. We don't know what's in the big chest of Mire or on Vitreous. We don't know what's on Armos Knights or, what else? Thieves Town big chest.
Eastern Palace big chest, Pod big chest, Helmasaur.
Oh, right.
Skullwoods big chest.
And Pod Vanilla big key chest.
Yeah, so Ganon's Tower definitely outweighs all of those checks, but just see who runs into it first. Yeah, we do have the mushroom spot.
Oh, yeah. And could fake powder, too.
I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
Some sort of... Oh. I was going to say, I wonder if Wallkicks has some sort of save and quit strategy in mind, because now if you save and quit in Dark World, you wind up on top of the pyramid, not in the Light World.
Very true. Yeah, because he could end up finishing with, say, Skull or Mire, and then just save and quit, and, well, then you're on top of the pyramid. So still 3 checks. Oh, right. He's got the big key chest in the middle here. He didn't get.
of them could have that GT big key. They're all equally likely. So yeah, since we're talking a bit about the week themes in chat, what we have left next week will be casual boots. Week 4 is pilot spoiler. Week 5 is cross keys. Week 6 is regular old open 7-7 defeat Ganon. And then week 7 is what?
It's co-op Randomizer.
Open Randomizer boot start.
Yeah, lots of fun, like modes here in the league. Fad Keys is a league creation. Pilot Spoiler, a league creation. Week 7 is going to be kind of nuts, adding Randomizer to all of this.
Yeah, no one really plays Randomizer anymore except if they're playing Mystery and it happens to come up.
All right, here's James with his hookshot, heading to, hopefully, Hookshot Cave. Yeah, here we go.
You know what we should have done for week 7 if we wanted to do Randomizer? Kiss Priest!
Oh, no. I think your participation may have gone down.
I think trying to generate all those seeds wouldn't be very fun for Synac.
All right,
Wow.
We got the Mire Big, we got a mushroom. And
Wallkicks is really determined to do the hammer kill there rather than taking out his bow.
yeah. I mean, even just the Master Sword slashes might have been, a little bit more effective. But hey, he gets him down. Gets the next crystal. And the hook shot is going to give us our, look into the top layers of Tower of Hera.
Though we still can't open the big chest.
Right. So we'll see if we can create some drama there too. Nonetheless, we still do have compass chest. We can get a crystal out of this. Pendant, rather.
Red mail?
Yeah, something you probably wouldn't go out of your way for, but if it's thrust upon you, I'll take it.
The fact that Hera is a pendant could mean that the big key is very easily in GT.
It is looking more and more likely.
But just to give you an idea of Wallkick's lead, he's going to be beating his 8th dungeon soon, and James just beat his 6th. Did Wallkicks do left side swamp?
I thought so.
It's all a blur at this point.
I think we would have mentioned it if we saw him skip it, but at this point, I don't think you can afford to skip anything.
Okay, thank you, Artaro, who's always on top of everything. So yes, he did do left side swamp. And he is going to get his flute momentarily.
And we did see that just rupees in the big chest, so no GT big key there. Doesn't feel great when you find a flute at an hour and a half. So you wonder what Wall Kicks is thinking about his opponent's routing. Did he go here early? Did he skip it? So nicely for James, he's going to be able to get his tempered sword here in the compass chest of Swamp Palace. I don't think there was really anything more out of Swamp. He did get the Eastern Palace big key, though. He got that in the first chest of Swamp Palace.
Right, that was the other big thing there.
All right, Wall Kicks has the flute in hand, gonna activate that and head over to the Mire Desert area. No doubt about that. He's got to go there.
And get his tempered in mire, presumably.
What's this play from Wall Kicks?
He's never checked ped. I guess he wants to know now.
Yeah, actually, given where Hera is, or where that third crystal pendant is on Hera, you're going to want to know before you spend the time to go up there and then have to come back down. Oh, he's not done Skullwoods yet.
No. Oh, you didn't realize that?
No.
No, I mean, having just gotten the flute, just coming here to finish Skull Woods before doing Mire is a bit odd, but given that he can combine it with a ped check, it makes sense. As James takes down Argus for his 7th dungeon. And James has all his remaining needed big keys, so he can just start knocking off these dungeons, though I don't think... Oh no, he has been into bot, of course, he got the Ice Rod. Was there a moth there? I'm not sure.
I'm sorry, was there a moth there?
Yeah, on Wall Kick's side. It's like he dropped down and next thing he was grabbing the red pendant.
Yeah, I didn't see a thing. No, a lot of really good boss fights from both these runners so far. That's just one example.
Yeah. It's really great to see this sort of level of play in the Invitational League.
I mean, they were all invited for a reason. I mean, they are some of the top runners in this tournament.
Yeah, many of the Invitational League runners went quite far in the main tournament a few months ago. Where did wall kicks get to? The round of 16, I think?
I know he did well. I couldn't tell you the precise placement.
No, Shady Force upset him in the round of 32. That was quite the upset. And then Shady Force upset Error in the round of 16.
Oh, way to go, Shady Force.
Of course, both of those players are in the league as well, the Spoilers and Error 216, respectively.
All right, so we've got 2 Misery Mires. James has already cleared out most of it. He's just got to go back to Vitreous. Wall Kicks is going to do more because he's looking for that Ganon Tower big key.
Wow, so we're slightly synchronized for the moment. Wallkicks gets distempered.
And headed straight back. I guess it's not a bad play, because if the Ganon Tower big key is on Vitreous, you don't have to do the rest of the dungeon.
Yeah, and if it's not, sure, the second room is annoying, but it's not a huge time loss.
This is going to be fun to see. We're going to get pretty close Vitreous fights. No silver arrows, so we actually have to use some tactics.
I was going to say neither of them got spooky action either.
That's another thing that could have closed the gap or furthered the gap too. All right, James using the cape strats. I like it. You just keep swinging your sword and you don't use any magic when you have the cape equipped. Wall Kick's doing some spins. Both of them summoning the big eyeball at the same time. This is great.
And does James go... Oh no, James already did the big chest. And... Oh, Skull Woods!
I got too excited about that. I thought it was going to be...
Those few seconds of hope when you see a big key.
Imagine the big keychain that could still happen. You could still have like the Tower of Hera big key in Skullwood's big chest, and then you could have the Candace Tower big key in the in that chest. It's still not over, right? You still got to find this thing.
Right. The question for wall kicks is, how many checks do you make before you climb the mountain and just start your way through Ganon's tower? Apparently none.
None. Nope.
Beyond checkerboard.
No, he's done. He'll do Tower of Hera, and then I'm sure he's right into Ganon's tower.
I wonder if he'll do GT Basement first in case he turns up the Hera Big Key.
That's a good point.
Because... Sorry, what were you saying?
Probably the same thing as you were going to say.
Oh, yeah, no, just that on the off chance it's in the Hera big chest, you don't want to do Hera, then GT, then Hera again.
Now, if he does do that and he finds, the GT big key, just don't get too excited and go all the way to the top and beat Agate 2, because then you wind up back at the pyramid and still have to go to Hera.
But what do we have left? Skullwood's big chest, Hera big chest, Thievestown big chest, Pod big chest. I don't think we ever saw that.
We didn't. We didn't see Thievestown big chest? You're probably
neither
right.
of them went back. I mean, we still can't do Thievestown big chest. We don't have the small key. Did either of them do Mushroom Turn-In?
Neither did Mushroom, and we still have Powder outstanding. Well, it'd be fake Powder, but still a couple of, oddball chances for it to be somewhere.
Yeah, so Chad talking about wall kick skipping stuff in Mire. He did Spike Chest, Bridge Chest, and Vitreous and skipped everything else. But James full cleared Mire, so we know the big key isn't there.
Yeah, you got to play the numbers at some point. He took a big risk skipping 5 chests in Misery Mire. Yeah, so doing Hera first, maybe he'll find GT big key in Ganon's tower. Maybe he'll find some other big keys, or the Thievestown small key he has to go, hunt down.
Going right first.
What a pleasant surprise.
If you guessed 2...
Well, that's something to have it right there. Your first 2 checks.
That's a heck of a way to hit go mode.
Yeah, 145 and a few seconds. He's in go mode. And he's already done Aga 1, so as soon as he does Aga 2, he can just drop right in.
And no doubt Ganon will say, "Did you find the silver arrows in my tower?" But yes, folks, that's why we call it Hope Room, because you hope the big key's in there and you don't have to check anything else.
James still playing cleanup though. He's about to hit his last crystal, and then up to Ganon's tower as well, but is down a castle tower.
Yeah, so that's probably like a 5-minute-ish difference. Maybe a little bit more, because he still has to climb Death Mountain after this. Really, again, looking at the different backgrounds of these 2 players, all credit to James for keeping it this close.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we talked about Wall Kicks' profile and how he's in the finals of 2 tournaments and in the Invitational League here. And James, newcomer to League, but not a newcomer to Rando whatsoever. Very good, battle from both of them. Well, James is going to show us what the mushroom was, at least. So we'll have that peace of mind.
Sure, why not? I guess he wanted a potion anyway, so it makes sense. We are going to check chests here for the silvers.
Sure, you might as well. I mean, you're here.
There have been a number of occasions where I've seen them in that chest after Moldorm 2. Skipping pre-Moldorm chest, though.
Drosy, you're on fire tonight.
Well, if they're not anywhere else, they're always there, right?
I suppose that's true. So, silver's red mail, tempered, 15 hearts. I think we're good.
Yeah. Hey, at least James will be on the climb by the time Wall Kicks finishes.
So, actually, Chet calling attention to Wall Kicks' arrow count.
Well, I guess you do 3 spins and then start firing silvers, right?
Yeah. Maybe you set up for a triple and then, well, just spin to win. But what good are silver arrows if you can't use them?
And James is going directly for Hope Room, so he will be in go mode momentarily. Oh, and it's a 1 for him.
Yeah, minor time save. But we got the...
I'm not sure mirroring actually saved any time. Maybe because you can just dash straight.
All right, Wall Kicks setting up for this 1-1 with the tempered sword. Got the first phase. Second phase. Yeah, he should have enough hits here.
Yep, 1-1.
That's how you do it. Yeah, definitely Wall Kicks is cognizant of how many arrows he can actually shoot into Ganon. Well done to finish that off with a double. Just got to cross the bridge, and Wall Kicks and NewSwagaJacksonl will pick up the win and 3 more points in League. GG's to Wall Kicks.
And he records an official race time of 1:51:52. Quite solid for Fat Keys. Let's see if we can get him in here for an interview. We are joined by Wallkicks, GG.
Yo, GG's.
Sorry, I'm momentarily deafened because we switched audio to James and it was somewhat louder. I figured I'd turn down the volume on my end so I could actually hear you to interview you first.
That's okay. Yeah, the seed was pretty terrible.
Yeah, and you still got a 151 out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think kind of what helped me early on would have been the fire rod, just because you could have very easily have gotten mitts before you do front of escape, and the fire rod wasn't logic given that it was in the first chest. I was also very mad at the flute, given where it was, and given where the lamp was. I was upset that the flute was just in Eastern Palace behind the lamp.
So I take it you didn't want to venture into Eastern without the big key, just to check out what was there?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I was hoping to fish out the big key. I mean, if the big key's in Eastern, the big key's in Eastern, and I'm forced to go in there anyways. But yeah, I mean, there really wasn't a whole lot of reason to go into Eastern Palace at that point. I was going to go into Eastern Palace after Pod until I got the ice rod out of Pod. At which case, I'm like, okay, I've got 3 keys, the big and the small key, or the 3 small keys and the big key. So TR became a lot nicer of a play.
Oh, yeah, the only thing was the flute. Like, I was really wanting you to get the flute.
Yeah, I mean, the flute was GT mode, obviously, so at that point, still looking for the GT big key. I'm like, okay, well, I was like, I don't want to full clear Mire at this point, because it's probably just in GT. But I'm like, let's do the 2 checks that are along the way, and the boss, and then go to GT. And then if it's not in GT, my first trip, like my first place to go is Mire, because I've left so many checks there. So yeah, it wasn't too bad. It sucked being again, because for the longest time, like, I put off the Eastern area entirely, so I didn't get the Desert Big for a while. And when I saw it was the lamp in the Desert Big chest, I'm like, okay, this makes, this is reasonable. This is my logical access to get up the mountain. And then it was also, by extension, your logical flute access just in Eastern Palace.
Well, and with doing Eastern so late, your 4th Turtle Rock Small came along very late.
Yeah.
That turned out to be half magic, so it didn't hurt you, but we were wondering, what if that's the GT big key?
I saw, I got that small key, and I was a little worried that the flute was going to be there, because the game shoved so much towards TR. So when I got the hookshot in TR, I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. But when I picked up that 4th key, I was also a little concerned that it could also put the flute there. But it was just, again, deeper in Eastern.
Oh yeah, you had everything except the ice rod and a sword to get into TR, right? Within the first 30 minutes.
I genuinely thought for the longest time, because obviously it took me so long to get into Mire, that your logical sword to get access to Turtle Rock was the front of Swamp Palace. Because I never got the small key to Thieves Town to put my blind sword in logic.
And we never did figure out where the final sword was. Probably GT basement.
Yeah, it's probably just in GT. So, I mean, logically, you were supposed to enter GT with 1 sword, maybe? Depending on where that thieves is. Or no, 2 sword, because obviously you have the Mire sword. Never mind.
So, gotta ask, 2 wins in 2 weeks. How's it feeling compared to last season?
It feels fine. It was... yeah, I don't know. It feels fine. Chad is also correcting me that the sword isn't made itself. I thought it was on blind. I am clearly not thinking straight, but that's okay.
We never did get that Thieves Small.
Yeah, but with the sword being a maiden cell, that does actually put that sword in logic. So
right, the sword's in logic. It's just
a moment ago.
Where was blind put in logic? I guess it was Thieves was a pendant, so that was probably in GT.
Yeah, it didn't matter. They're like, yeah.
Ooh, James just mirrored when he went for the boomerang to collect that small key, and unfortunately, that is a forfeit from him.
Yeah, we were talking about it. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, and he's also saying that, he's been under the weather since mid-afternoon and just feeling worse and worse, so he's gonna call it a night and try to get some rest. So let's hope he's able to rest up and feel better soon.
Reasonable, and GG's to him. It was always a pleasure racing him.
Yeah, and you guys, sometimes you had total divergence, sometimes you were in the same room at the same time. It was pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what happens when you're essentially full clearing the game.
Like, you guys had simultaneous Vitreous fights, for instance.
Yeah, nice. That's surprising given how early he told me he got the flute.
Well, so his thing was when he got the boots in Paradox Cave, he didn't check that one chest in Hookshot Cave, so he didn't get his Mire big key until he went up and did TR and got the hookshot.
Gotcha. Because I knew I had that Mire big. I don't want to say early, but no, I wasn't worried about double dipping Mire.
Yeah, unfortunately, he did double dip Mire because he didn't check that one chest with the boots.
That's unfortunate.
Waiting to see you get the flute because you had everything you needed to beat Mire pretty early on, but no flute to actually get there.
Yeah, I was hoping it was going to come along too. Again, I kind of assumed it was in Turtle Rock, or once I got the hookshot, I kind of assumed it was in Swamp, but no dice on either of those. So, but again, I mean, in the end, we got the win, get us to 2-1. Hopefully, Walther gets us to 3-1 before we kind of begin the meat of our schedule, where we face Skull Kids, Waffle House, and Mogliacci in 3 consecutive weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty interesting division.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I get to race. I'm looking forward to racing some of my friends too. So, like, I'm going to run into Shireen. I think it's going to be me and Shireen next week in Kaz Boots. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then, I mean, with Cross Keys Week, I have to race Shulo. I can't not race Shulo.
Oh, of course. You've thrown down the gauntlet.
I don't know if it was me, but I mean, it just kind of had to happen.
And then you can wind up going against like Matt or Salty Fry or someone, or are you not doing spoiler week?
I'm piloting.
Ah.
Yay! I get to learn how to pilot. I have been looking at it, even if I haven't had a chance to run a bunch as a pilot. I have been looking and trying to time myself on how long it takes to create a route. So hopefully we'll figure it out and go from there.
Well, good luck to you in these coming weeks. I mean, I'm sure, excited to see all these matches.
Yeah, same. And thanks again for the restream putting us together so late.
Yeah, and thanks again to you and James for putting this on for us, and be sure to give both of our runners a follow. So, Lumaga, you have anything else to add here?
I think we lost Lumaga a while ago due to internet.
And I was the one whose internet was acting up for most of the race.
RIP.
Oh, yeah, he is no longer here. Okay. Well then. Thanks for joining us, Wallkicks. I guess we'll wrap here. Big shout out to our Tarl, our tracker, who always seems to be on top of absolutely everything, even in this crazy key sanity match where it's like, where was that Skullwood small key again? And thanks, Lumaga, wherever you are with your downed internet. It was fun working with you tonight. This is, of course, the last broadcast of the evening at this hour, but tune back in at noon, or I guess 10 minutes past noon, since we have the 10-minute stream delay. We will be featuring on SpeedGaming 3, Vortex of Doom versus Purdy Wong, and on SpeedGaming 5, Yoshi versus Magno. So take your pick of which of those two invitational matchups you want to see at noon tomorrow. And we hope to see you around. There is a full schedule of league matches tomorrow, so be sure to follow SpeedGaming 2 through 6, and also the ALTTPR League, where we'll be streaming some invitational matches because SpeedGaming's so busy we can't fit them all on here. But have a great rest of your evenings and tune in tomorrow. Thanks for watching.